How's it going, folks? Rob here. Welcome back to the channel on Horizon 5 again. Today we're going to take a look at 4 little cars in my garage that I bought on a DLC a while ago and completely forgot about. So back in the late 80s, Nissan took advantage of an economic boom, made 4 little small cars. They built a division called the Pike Factory, and these little 4 cars we're going to take a look at are the results. They're 4 limited edition cars that were built using existing Nissan parts and were styled with our classic European cars from the 50s and 60s. Now we've got 4 cars, so let's quickly fly through this. All right, first up to look at is this rather unique looking thing. This is the Nissan S Cargo. God, it's ugly. Now, this small commercial van looks like nothing else in my garage. The name S Cargo apparently is a joke name by Nissan because it sounds very similar to the French word for snail, which, to be honest, when you look at this car, it does look like a snail, and it is slow. 1.5 litre inline 4-cylinder engine. That thing puts out 72 horsepower, which is not a lot, but compared to the other cars in this pack, it is quite powerful. Now, power goes to the front wheels only through a 3-speed manual gearbox. Now, on the inside, the car is pretty basic. It's very practical, as you expect for a commercial vehicle. You get everything you need and nothing you'd like. Being a van, though, you get a bit of space in the back for a few boxes here and there. Now, why they gave this thing side windows look like they come from a fish tank, I got no idea. All up around 8,000 of these were sold on the market. They're very unique, they're very slow, and very unpractical on Horizon. Thank God we can upgrade these cars. So on to the next one. All right, next up, we've got this Nissan PA0 from 1989. This little hatchback was designed with inspiration to older Citroens and Renaults from the 60s, and it does show. Now, unlike the Cargo, the PA0's got a much smaller engine, a teeny tiny little 1-litre 4-cylinder engine. 51 horsepower comes out of that beast of a thing, and driving around the last few days, I can completely believe that pathetic figure. Now, power goes to the front wheels through a 3-speed manual gearbox, just like the Cargo. Now, this car's got some odd styling options. It's got some external door hinges for some reason or another. Can't say I quite like those ribbed body panels as well, but hey, we're all different. We've all got different tastes. Now, inside the design's rather simple and a good throwback to a lot of 60s cars, as you can see. Nothing flash in there. All up, this car weighs about 760 kilograms. It is very light. They were rather popular when these things released in '89, selling about 30,000 units all up. Apparently. Now, we'll get to performance soon, or lack thereof. So we've got 2 more cars to go, so let's get on to the next one. This one is my favorite of the bunch. This is the Nissan Figaro, probably pronouncing that wrong. Purely on styling alone, this is the best one. This is a rather cute little car design. Design inspiration again come from a lot of European cars from the 50s and 60s, and it shows. I really like the look of this one. It's pretty cool. Revealed at the '89 Motor Show Tokyo, this was a hit from the start. Apparently, demand was so high that Nissan had to sell them via a lottery system. Now, unlike the PA0, this little car's 1-litre 4-cylinder engine was given a turbocharger, which boosted power to a whopping 75 horsepower, which makes this the most powerful of these Pike cars. This tiny little car weighs 810 kilos. Even on the inside, it's not a bad looking thing. I quite like the look of it. You even get some trim and a CD player, which back in the 80s was a pretty good deal. Now, it's the most luxurious car here, which is quite a low bar compared to the others. So we've got one more car to check out, and that is this Nissan BA1. This car was released in '87. The first of the Pike cars. Inspiration is clearly taken from the Mini Cooper back in the 60s. About 10,000 of these were sold all up, and you could only get one apparently through a lottery system. Powering the BA1 is a 1-litre naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder engine, making 51 horsepower. It's a tiny little city car. Power and speed is not what it was built for. Interior, as you expect, is pretty basic for the time. Big central speedo, simple controls. You got cloth seats, basically what you'd expect for a budget sort of car. Now, I recently did a D-Class rally build of this car, and it actually performed far better than I expected. Throw on some upgrades, it's a decent little thing to throw down some dirt roads. Stock standard though, not so much. I'm going to do a brake test. I'm not going to show all 4, just do the 3 at once. It just saves time. So the B1, 63 meters from 150 to 0. The PA0 did 64. And the Figaro and the Cargo both did 70 meters, which is not great performance brakes at all. All right, now the braking out the way. Now we're going to do a 1-mile drag when all 4 of these incredibly fast cars. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. The Figaro's the quickest, top left 12.7. The BA1 top bottom right did a 16.2. The Cargo top right 17.5, and the little PA0 did an 18.4 in the bottom left. 0 to 100 miles an hour or 160 k's an hour. It's very simple. None of them made it. That's how quick they are. Down to 1-mile drag, the Figaro was easily the fastest down here with its little turbocharged engine. Did a 32.2. We're going to cut them off because they just stop at random times. The B1 did a 35.1. The Cargo did a 35.4. And the PA0 did a 36.4. Top speed, as you can see, lighter, faster Figaro with its turbocharged engine easily beats these things down a straight line. The other three are pretty much all exactly the same. That is the high speed in quotation marks drag racing testing out the way. So we're going to see what these four little cars are like to drive now. Typically how I do this in my purpose-built racetrack for this channel is give the cars 10 laps each just to warm up, get to know what they're like, and then I do Top Gear style, one final from the standing start, boom, stig, go. I didn't give these the 10 full laps to warm up with them. You don't really have to. They're not fast. We know that. We've gone through the specs already. If anyone's driven really slow standard D-class cars, you can throw these things around the corners and they're going to stick. They got decent amount of grip for what they are. Little front-wheel drive cars, they're pretty easy to drive. I'm not going to show every single car every lap. I'm just going to cut it up so you can see every single car. They pretty much all drive the same. Going by the drag strip, the Figaro is a lot faster, and on the racetrack, it's not going to change. The PA0 is not a quick car, but they're all fairly easy to drive. You're not going fast enough. The little brakes aren't going to get tested too much. Granted, we just did the high-speed brake testing on the downhill slope there, and these cars don't hit 150 k's an hour on their own, and I'm forcing them to go down 150 k's an hour down the hill, and they're doing the things their brakes are not designed to do, which is why most of them were over 70 meters long to stop for 150 clicks. Around here, though, they're pretty much all the same. The Figaro is probably the better car to handle. It's just because it's a little bit quicker. The S-Cargo was a little bit better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be slow and heavy, but it's actually not that bad. We'll go through the times in a second, but yeah, braking's fine. You're not building up enough speed. You can throw these things around the corners. They're front-wheel drive. They're going to stick. They're not going to slide out. You're not really going to have to worry about understeer here, torque steer. None of that is going to be a problem. It's not a 300 horsepower front-wheel drive little hatchback. They're so easy to drive. There's not much else to say other than we'll finish the lap, we'll think of something. Yes. If you've ever driven D-class cars, like I said before, there's not much to say about them. Rear-wheel drive cars, some of the little D-class rear-wheel drive cars, you got to be a little bit careful with the throttle. But even through here, the slalom, yeah, maybe clipped a few tires here and there, just part of the fun of going for a slalom. But all of them handled that really, really well. But by far, this little Figaro, not only is it the best looking, it's got the best engine, most power. It is easily the fastest around here. It absolutely creamed the other cars. Coming through the S's here, we're almost at the end. Thank God, because I don't know what to say. I'm going to start calling out things in my room right now. But yeah, we've got the little left hand. Again, you're not really braking. You just get these things around the corner, just lift off the throttle, let it coast around the corner. You're not really braking that much or that hard, but that is the cars. They're all pretty good, but the one on screen is easily the best. And if we go through the times, so the lap times for these cars, the Figaro is easily the fastest, 2:31 flat, the BA1 2:33.8. The PA0, which I thought would be the slowest, was a 2:36.6. But in last place is the little S-Cargo. For some reason, the delivery van's the slowest when they're typically the fastest cars on the road that I see every day on the road. But anyway, that is the cars. This little Figaro is my favorite. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.